CBS 46 voting rights activist Stacey Abrams speaking out about Republican efforts to restrict voting access in Georgia. Abrams and her organization, Fair Fight, were widely credited with helping to flip Georgia blue last election cycle. She says new GOP-sponsored voting legislation amounts to voter suppression. CBS 46's Ashley Thompson is live downtown, and Ashley, Abrams is actually calling these election bills racist.
That's right, Rick, and that's because she believes this legislation will mostly negatively impact Black people. I do want you to take a look at what's going on here behind me. We are at the World of Coke, and in just 20 minutes, protesters will be staging a die-in here over these election bills. These demonstrators are now trying to put pressure on major corporations to take a stand.
I recognize that I am an avatar for something that has become problematic to the political side of the Republican Party, and that is we now have a competitive state.
Following former President Donald Trump's loss in Georgia and unfounded claims of voter fraud in the 2020 election, Republicans have introduced several bills that would restrict voting. Democratic leader Stacey Abrams believes it's all unnecessary.
Well, I've never known of any type of organization that responds to a lie by suborning the lie and by changing the law to make the lie true. That's what they're doing.
The bills include limiting mail-in voting, Sunday voting, and restricting ballot drop boxes.
Watching them respond by returning to Jim Crow in a suit and tie is saddening to me because I know many of these people. I know they are better than this.
I know Stacey Abrams.
Republican Representative Alan Powell, who sponsored one of the bills, is fiercely defending it, saying he believes it will create uniformity in elections across the state.
If somebody's going to vote their ballot, and if they're conscientious, put it in the mail or take it down there instead of somebody out collecting bundles of ballots.
Representative Powell tells me he thinks the backlash over election reform is merely political.
And my final word on this subject to any and all people, including these protesters, including the people who called and left me messages threatening to find out where I live at, is that they need to understand something. We know that every piece of legislation that deals with elections or people's right to vote is going to be highly scrutinized in the federal courts.
Now, Stacey Abrams is also calling on the state's business community to speak up about this legislation. Again, this die-in scheduled to happen at 5:31. You can see all of these demonstrators out here getting ready. Everyone is required to wear black. We'll have much more on this part of the story coming up at 6 o'clock. For now, I am live in Atlanta. Ashley Thompson, CBS 46 News.
Ashley, thank you. Still ahead, a battle